Recording in progress.
Good morning, friends.
Good morning, Jeff.
Morning, Jeff.
Good morning.
So we are venturing further into our discussion of the perfection of concentration, actually coming down the home stretch. We may finish our discussion of the perfection of concentration in this morning's class, or it might take us into Friday's class, or excuse me, Monday's class as well. Last Monday, I talked about concentration, and I cited a section from the Ganges Mahamudra that I'd like to visit very briefly. You may recall that in the Ganges Mahamudra, Tilopa says to Naropa, tighten awareness until it stays put. Tighten awareness until it being awareness, stays put. And that was, I encouraged us to experiment with that technique, tightening our awareness as a method for improving our concentration. And the funny thing about Mahamudra is that the first sentence of the instructions from Tilopa are, although Mahamudra can't be taught, and then he goes on to provide a bunch of comparisons and shared experiences of Mahamudra in lieu of trying to teach it. And tightening awareness is kind of the same way. You can't really explain how to tighten awareness in the name of improving concentration. But an analogy that I thought of that may or may not be helpful to you has to do with camera lenses. Like a camera lens, I know you all know, there's one type of lens that is a wide angle lens that takes a very wide photo of a landscape, perhaps. And then there is another type of lens that is considered normal, and a photographer could tell you kind of the specifications of what a normal camera lens would accomplish through taking photographs. And that's more kind of narrow, more focused, if you will, than the wide angle lens. And then even more narrow than that, or focused, is the telephoto lens. And so you might experiment with that, think about that analogy, and maybe try to apply the same principles in your meditation, narrowing your focus, tightening your awareness, becoming progressively closer until you are able to focus and concentrate single-pointedly on your object of meditation. And again, as I said on Monday, gently, 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 please, as you do that, incrementally tightening your awareness teeny, teeny bits so as to prevent you from getting wind disease, which will, wind disease one can recover from. I had it and I recovered from it, but if we can avoid it, it's advisable to do so. So without further ado, why don't we practice some meditation? Refine our concentration a little bit. Our object of meditation, of course, this morning will be on sensations within the inner body. Please go ahead and settle into a comfortable meditation posture, using whichever method you find most effective. Allow your physical body and your mind to become still and settled. And when you are ready in your own time, please transition into meditation on the inner body. in the entire universe. There is nothing more important that you could or should be doing than being here now in this moment, observing sensations within your inner body. To inform your to inform your meditation, please feel free to bring to mind the image of a mountain. Day after day, year after year, century after century, the mountain observes silently. Snow may fall on the mountain, accumulate, and then disappear. A nearby river may rise and then recede. A flock of migrating birds may fly over the mountain. The mountain simply observes silently. No praise, no blame, no thought, no speculation, no expectation. Whether this meditation continues for a few more moments or a few more centuries, please continue to silently observe sensations within your own body mountain. through your meditation on the inner body. It may be that certain aspects of your physical body no longer appear. Flesh, blood, bones, internal organs, and so forth have disappeared. These aspects are no longer findable. If this is your experience, this is an experience of emptiness, of the emptiness of body. Throughout all of creation, there is no more meaningful insight than this. Now, please gently allow your concentration to become less absorbed as you begin to arise from meditation. We dedicate all of the merit from this morning's meditation and Dharma talk to world peace. May all beings without exception be completely and permanently freed from all forms of emotional and physical suffering. May all beings without exception be happy, peaceful, fearless, contented, and free. Completely fill up your belly and lungs with air, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes and bring your meditation to an end. Welcome back, everyone. I am reminded that there's actually a series of classes, recorded classes on the Ganges Mahamudra on Lotus Center's YouTube channel. So if you want to, this was a series of classes that I offered last year in 2022. So if you'd like to kind of deepen your understanding or wade into the waters for the first time of Mahamudra, that might be a good place to start the YouTube channel. There's a playlist on, I think it's 6 classes on Mahamudra. So, up till now, I've been providing kind of a little bit of an informal, almost anecdotal presentation of the perfection of concentration. I'd like to read to you from Joyful Path of Good Fortune, where Geshe Kelsang writes about the perfection of concentration in general and what are called the 9 mental abidings in particular. 9 mental abidings, which are the 9 progressive states of concentration leading up to perfect concentration. Complete concentration is a better way to put it, because don't want to confuse the perfection of concentration within the context of bodhicitta or the practice of the bodhisattva and having perfect concentration. We'll call it complete concentration. I'm going to go through the first 4 and leave it to you all. Should you choose to go through the final 5, they get more and more subtle. And I think for most of us, the first 4 mental abidings are going to be enough to sink our teeth into. So the first of the 9 mental abidings is placing the mind. Placing the mind, and we're all familiar with this first step. When we first start our training in tranquil abiding, we sit in correct meditation posture, or as close to it as we can, and then we generate bodhicitta motivation, deciding to train in tranquil abiding, perfecting concentration, completing concentration, to fulfill our wish to benefit others. At this stage of our training, our goal is to simply find our object of meditation and focus or place our mind on it. When we attain placing the mind, we are not yet able to hold the object continuously for any length of time. We can just focus our mind on it. We've just simply found our object of meditation. That's the first mental abiding, placing the mind. On the level of placing the mind, we still have more distractions than concentration during the meditation session. We may even feel that we have more distractions than we did before we started meditating. In fact, this is not the case. It seems that way only because our mind has become slightly clearer and more inwardly gathered. In our daily life, we have more distractions than when we are meditating. But since we are mostly unaware of these distractions, it can seem to us that there are fewer than those we experience when we sit down to meditate. So again, it may seem like, oh geez, meditation is making my mind more distracted, more unstable. Not the case. We're just becoming more aware of our mind and distractions. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing, kind of almost a diagnosis of the problem, if you will. The second of the 9 mental abidings is continual placement. Continual placement. After attaining placing the mind, the first stage, the first step, the first mental abiding, after attaining placing the mind, we continue to meditate on the same object over and over until we can hold our object single-pointedly for about 5 minutes. When we can do this, we have reached the second level, continual placement. On this level, we still have many conceptual thoughts and other distractions, but they are fewer than on the first level. Our distractions are less busy, and it's as if they are ready to retire. Our concentration is stronger. There are times when our mind is free from conceptual thoughts, and there are times when it is not. So again, the second state, the second mental abiding, continual placement, being able to place our mind and hold our object of meditation for about 5 minutes. Okay. The third mental abiding, replacement. After attaining continual placement, if we continue to meditate over and over, we shall eventually reach the third level, replacement. On the third level, we can hold our object for about 5 minutes before we lose it. And when we lose it, we cannot immediately regain it. However, on the third level, whenever we lose the object, we can immediately retrieve it without having to begin our search for the object of meditation from the very beginning. On the second level, we're like a child who has dropped a ball and cannot easily pick it up again. On the third level, we're like an adult who can immediately retrieve the ball when it has dropped. When we attain replacement, our mindfulness becomes much stronger and we can meditate for an hour without ever completely losing our object. It's a nice prospect to consider. During that time, we may drop our object many times, but we are always able to regain it immediately. Third mental abiding, replacement. And then the fourth mental abiding, close placement. After attaining replacement, if we continue to meditate over and over again, we shall reach the fourth level, close placement. On this level, the power of our mindfulness is complete. And so we don't forget our object of meditation at any time during the session. This level is called close placement because the object is always close to us. So the 4 mental abidings of the perfection of concentration. We'll close there. We'll close there with our discussion of the perfection of concentration and move on to the perfection of wisdom on Monday. Let me just say, you guys, that going back to our discussion of tightening awareness, if you start to feel as though you're getting a tightness in your chest, or a little bit of a pain in your head, give me a call, reach out to me, and I can give you some meditation techniques and some remedies for addressing what may be the beginning of wind disease, or the Tibetan word is lung, L-U-N-G. If you do it gently, not grasping at your object of meditation too tightly, won't be a problem. But if you do find yourself having any difficulties, please contact me, reach out to me, and we can talk about it and come up with some ways to address it. Okay? Have a good weekend, you guys. Thank you for being here.
Thank you,
Thank
Jeff.
you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye,
Jeff.
everybody. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Very good. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome.